Hi everyone, Angel Kraus here, and I hope that you are doing well. I just returned from 6th grade camp where I was able to attend with my daughter this past week on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And so I'm a little bit slow in getting this posted, but I didn't get home until really late on the 25th, and I've been sorting through emails since I've returned. So we are in Module 5, and moving forward, there are only just about 3.5 weeks left in the course. So we will wrap up this course prior to Thanksgiving. So just a couple of notes on Module 4. So I will be working on providing feedback in Module 4, hopefully over the weekend. It's going to be a little bit slow going just because of being out of town for those 3 weeks, but I gladly appreciate your flexibility in waiting for your feedback on especially your integrated health lesson plan. For those lesson plans, I'll take anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes per lesson plan and give really specific feedback. And then you'll have all the way until Module 6 to make those changes. So these 2 weeks of Module 5, if you don't touch your lesson plan until November 5th or after November 5th, you'll still have plenty of time to make those changes. And so if you have not submitted everything in Module 4, please work on doing that as soon as possible. The final due date for late work for Module 4 is October 30th. But I will get in there this weekend and begin to provide feedback on Module 4. So for Module 5, you're going to look at consumer and community health, environmental health, and injury prevention and safety. So the module itself should look very familiar. You had this week to work on it as well as next week through November 5th. And we're going to be looking at Chapter 12, 13, and 14. You'll do that quick little wiki for each of them, and then you're going to work on glossaries that accompany the topics from those. So you'll look through those goals again. Remember, scan through those goals really quickly. Pick the goal that is most relevant to your student population. Write a rationale for why that goal would be a focus area if you're going to be teaching on this topic. For the 5.1 assignment, you're going to just do some quick research on what type of resource could you use if you were teaching your students about consumer and community health. And so you will add it just like a student has already done here. So they chose health goal number 74. I will make a plan to manage my time and money. And then here's the health standard that it matches. So you're going to pick a health goal, you're going to find a health standard that it matches, and then try to find a website or resource that you would use. And so this is the total of what you need to do for the wiki. This is a perfect example of one that's met the standards and maybe used for them in the future. So what we're creating in these glossaries is just a large resource for you to take a look at, to come back to and find information on if you're going to be teaching anything about that topic. The same thing occurs for environmental health. You're going to, again, look for a resource to teach. If you were going to be looking at environmental health with your students, what would you do? This is very common when you integrate science into ELA or looking at just overall a healthy environment, so that you would just add an entry by clicking on that and then meeting the requirements right here. Okay, the concept, your health goal, the standard, and then go from there. Okay? All right. 5.3 is going to be a quick forum. This is looking at injury prevention and safety. And one of probably the most common questions that comes up in this class is, when will we be looking at how we become mandated reporters? That is, when you see a student who may being abused or neglected, how do we actually report on that? And you will go through a mandated reporter and introduction to that type of training at one of your Friday or Thursday seminars. So there are 4 times during your initial student teaching, or during the program, that you'll be asked to be out of your classroom and come to campus to attend a seminar day, or they call it a workshop day. And so one of those, the one that actually just passed a couple weeks ago, was looking at becoming a mandated reporter. So I think that in the area of health, there are lots of different areas that are sensitive, but this is probably going to be the most sensitive read that you do for the class. It's written from a teacher's perspective and how that we can become heroes by helping abused children. So as you read that, think of the article and whether someone in our family or somebody really close to us has experienced child abuse or neglect. It's really important that we are advocates. And this article talks a little bit about that. So as you're writing your QQTP, just be aware that some in the class or some very close in relationship to the class may have been impacted by child abuse or neglect. And so just make sure that you're very aware of this sensitive topic. A couple of things. You may want to take a look up at child abuse and neglect by your by the area that you live in. So for example, in California there are 53 reports per 1,000 children. In Fresno County we're actually quite a bit higher than the California average. So there are 72 reports per 1,000 children in Fresno County per year. And then you have, so these are the actual reported or they are actually reported through the process. And then substantiated are the cases that are actually found where there are child abuse or child neglect at play. So there are 9 cases per 1,000 children. So in any school that has 500, even if you think of a school with 500 students, you're going to have 4 to 5 cases of child abuse in that year. And so it's something that you definitely want to be aware of and kind of know a little bit about the signs, and that you will get a little bit more in that professional development workshop. Mandated reporter resources are also down here, so if you're curious prior to attending that PD workshop, there's a little bit of information here as well. Okay? If you have any questions, please let me know. On Module 5, I have not yet posted kind of the wrap-up announcements. I will probably do that over the weekend or shortly after making this. So after you do Chapter 12, 13, and 14 and the accompanying assignments, then you're going to come back to your lesson plan and revise it. If for some reason you have not received feedback by November 5th, then go ahead and complete the module feedback, and I will get it to you as soon as I can by November 6th, so that you'll have time to make those revisions. If you have any questions as you work on Module 5, please let me know. I'll send this video out and post it at the beginning of the module, and I hope that you have a good weekend and a good Halloween. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.